Good day, my students, and now welcome back to our OCC class, and this will be our week 4 in our subject. Okay, last week we studied about the communication barriers and communication breakdown and various steps and strategies, ways on how to avoid communication breakdown. And we have 4 communication barriers, and these are physical, psychological, cultural, and linguistic. And under that, according to Verderber 1991, he classified five three classification of noises, and these are external, internal, and semantic noises. And we have 5 ways on how to avoid communication breakdown according to Ronnie Peterson, and we have 6 strategies on how to avoid communication breakdown according to Keeper, and we have 7 C's to effective communication. Okay, so now let's proceed to our new lesson for this week. Okay, our new lessons is about intercultural communication, verbal and nonverbal communication. And we have 4 learning objectives. And again, you need to remember this learning objective so that after we finish our discussion, you will be able to go back in these objectives, and you will check if our object or if we already met our objectives for today. Okay, first, define intercultural communication. Demonstrate effective intercultural communication skills in a speech situation. Develop appreciation for different cultural perspectives. And lastly, practice effective verbal and non-verbal communication during social interaction. Okay, and again, it's a brand new lesson discussion for today about intercultural communication and verbal and nonverbal communication. Okay, now let's define what is intercultural communication. According to Ting Tommy 1999, intercultural communication happens when individuals interact, negotiate, create meanings while bringing in their varied cultural backgrounds. Okay, during our first week of OCC subject, I discussed the meaning of communication. And communication, it is about the sharing, sending messages from person to another person. In intercultural communication, it is the same, but it will involve our cultural backgrounds in intercultural communication. Okay, it is not about only in receiving and sending a message, but also it will involve our cultural backgrounds, tradition, norms, age, social status, and religion. Okay, so that's for the first definition of intercultural communication. Now let's proceed to the next. According to Godekont, 2003, intercultural communication pertains to communication among people from different nationalities. Like what I've said earlier, it is about negotiation, interacting or interaction with other people specifically involved with cultural backgrounds. It means that in cultural backgrounds, we have different nationalities. The culture of from India, the culture of the people from Korea, from China, and from Japan. So it means it is about the communication between different nationalities all over the world. Okay. So next, others looks at intercultural communication that as communication that is influenced by different ethnicities, religions, and sexual orientation. Like what I've said earlier, it is not only about the cultural backgrounds that we have. It also involves some factors like our differences between ethnicities, our religions, and also our sexual orientation or our gender. Okay, so that's for the definition of intercultural communication. Okay. Now, generally, intercultural communication is a complex process. It means it is very broad with the interplay of different factors. And these factors, as a communicator, we have to show our utmost sensitivity, like culture to the culture, age, social status, and religion of the receiver to achieve effective communication. If we are intercultural communicator, not the culture only, we need to consider. Okay, we also need to consider age, the age of our receiver, the social status of our receiver, and also their tradition and religion, okay, to experience or to have effective communication. Okay, so overall, overall, intercultural communication is the sending, receiving of messages across languages and cultures. So it means in intercultural communication, it is not just about the communication that we have with other people. It is also about the communication between different languages and different tradition and also different cultures. Okay, so we are finished in defining what is intercultural communication, and now let's proceed to the DMIS, or the Developmental Model of Intercultural Sensitivity. Okay. Okay, DMIS, or Developmental Model of Intercultural Sensitivity, offers a structure that explores how people experience cultural differences, and it is according to Balgos and Sipacio last 2016. And DMIS, it consists 6 stages. Okay, and these 6 stages are interpreted by Bennett 2011. Okay, so these are the 6 stages that we have. First stage is denial. Second stage is defense. Third stage is minimization. Fourth stage, acceptance. Fifth stage, adaptation. And last stage is integration. Now, let's talk about the first stage, which is the denial. In denial stage, the individual does not recognize cultural differences at all. Okay? In this stage, the people in the stage of denial, they are intended to say that all cities are the same. They all have tall buildings, fast food chains, and coffee shop. It means in denial, you are denying all the cultural differences that we have. Okay, you are not acknowledging anyone. Okay, any culture that you know. Okay, you are denying it all. Okay, so in denial, you are not considering the religion of Muslim, Catholic, born again Christian. You are not considering the tradition and the culture of the people from Ifugao, from Baguio, from Ilocos. You are denying all of those cultural differences. Okay, so that's for the stage 1. Okay, for stage 2, we have defense. In defense, the individual starts to recognize cultural differences and is intimidated by them, resulting in either a superior view or on own culture or an unjustified high regard for the new one. Okay. In defense, you will be able to recognize all the differences that we have in terms of culture. But you are using your own culture as the superior and the other cultures are only inferior. Okay? You are thinking that your culture is the best one, all of them. Okay? Yes, you also recognize the culture of the people from Ifugao, Ilocos, Pampanga, Batanes, but because you are from Cavite, you are only thinking that the culture in Cavite is the best one, all of them, among them. Okay, so that is the defense. In defense, the people in this stage intended to say that this culture does not view life the way we do. Our culture is certainly better. Okay, so again, you are thinking that your own culture is better than any of the cultures that you know. Okay, so you are thinking that your culture is the best among of them. Okay, so that's for the stage 2. Now let's proceed to the stage 3. In stage 3, it is about minimization. Although individuals seek cultural differences, they bank more on the universality of ideas rather than on cultural differences. In minimization, you already know also the differences of our cultures. Okay, the culture of the people from Ifugao, Baguio, Pampanga, Batanes, Ilocos, from Bacolod, Iloilo, Cebu, and Davao. But you are too focused on the idea of universality. Okay, what does it mean, Miss JV? It means that I I know that we have cultural differences, but in reality, we are all the same. Okay, so yes, you know the different cultures that we have in the Philippines, but you are focused in the universality that we have. Okay, and people in this stage intended to say that once we see true cultural differences, we really are just the same. Okay, again, in minimization, you know how to differentiate cultures from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. But you are focused, or you believe that you believe in the idea of universality, that we are all the same. Okay, so that's all for the stage 3. Now let's proceed to the stage 4, which is the acceptance. In this stage, the individual begins to appreciate important cultural differences in behaviors and eventually in values. Okay, from the word itself, acceptance, it means that you already accepted that we are all different in terms of culture, in terms of tradition, norms, okay, the way we speak, and etc. Okay, so you already accepted, okay, that thought that we have different cultural backgrounds, cultural differences. And people in this stage intended to say that these people and I have different values and experiences. And I think we can learn from one another. Okay, in acceptance, aside of accepting that we have differences between our culture, you believe that once you learn about a specific culture, you will learn new things. Okay, so it means that you already accepted, okay, because I already accepted the culture of the people from Ifugao, it means that I will learn new things from them. Okay, so that is for the stage of acceptance. Now let's proceed to the fifth stage. Okay, the fifth stage is adaptation. In adaptation, the individual is very open to worldviews when accepting new perspective. In adaptation, you will be able to adapt. From the word itself, you can easily adapt in every culture that you have, or where you at. Okay? So, in adaptation, the people in this stage intended to say that to address our issue, I have to adjust my approach to consider both and my own opinion and my counterpart's background. Okay, in adaptation, you will be able to understand the different perspective or different approach of every culture. Okay, you understand, by understanding them, you will be able to do it, you will be able to apply it in your life because you can easily adapt to a specific culture. Okay, so that's for adaptation. And lastly, we have integration. In integration, the individuals start to go beyond their own cultures and see themselves and their actions based on multifarious cultural viewpoints. In integration, about adaptation, you will be able to adapt. Integration is not better than adaptation, but in integration, you will be able to take or dig deeper in a specific culture. Okay, because you know now how to adopt, and now you will be able to integrate or apply it. Okay, so in integration example, yes, you know your own culture because you are accepting you can adapt to a specific culture. Now you will dig deeper in that specific culture. Okay, it is like you are putting your feet or putting your foot into another shoes, to someone else's shoes. Okay, it means if you are in that specific culture, in specific place that has different culture than yours, you will be able to adapt, you will be able to accept, you will be able to integrate their culture in your body, in your life. When you are in that specific place where the people has different tradition, and culture. Okay, so you need to remember this stage, dig deeper, okay, aside of your own culture, also with the other culture. And the people in this stage intended to say that I can look at things from the perspective of various cultures. Like what I've said earlier, it is like putting your foot in someone else's shoes. Na kapag nandun ka, na it is like when you are in that shoes, you can view the perspective of that specific person with a different culture. Okay, so that's for integration. Okay, so I hope you understand the different stages of the MIS. Okay, so now let's proceed to characteristic of competent intercultural communicators. Okay, this characteristic or traits, you must have this or you must possess all of these traits and characteristic for you to be able to be an effective communicator in intercultural communication. First is flexibility and the ability to tolerate high levels of uncertainty. Okay, flexibility, it means you will be able to adapt wherever you go. Okay, ability to tolerate the high levels of uncertainty, unsure, you are not sure kung ano yung culture nila, so you will be able to adapt. 'Di ba? Lagi natin iisipin na ay hindi tayo sure kung Muslim ba siya, kung born again ba siya, kung ganito ba ang tradisyon nila para it is for you to easily adapt. Kasi nga hindi ka sure kung ano yung meron sa isang lugar na to, kung anong meron sa mga taong ito. Okay? Next. Next is reflectiveness or mindfulness. Okay, in reflectiveness or mindfulness, it is being mindful. Being mindful on your surroundings. Okay, mindful, is like you are being aware of the surroundings that you have. Okay, so hindi to about sa pagiging papansin mo, but you are mindful. Ay, parang may mali dito sa ginagawa ko. Parang hindi ko nagagawa yung ginagawa ng mga taong nandito sa lugar na to. Okay? So, in that term, being mindful, you will be able to adopt. Okay? Next, open-mindedness. In open-mindedness, you will not be able to adopt or to have an effective communication in different culture when you are not open-minded. Bakit? Example, you want to migrate into Western country, okay? But you are not open to learn their language. In that case, you will not be able to have a social interaction with the people in that country. Okay, so you need to be open-minded that once you want to travel all over the world or once you want to go in a specific place, you need to be open to learn new things, to learn their language, okay, for you to have social interaction with them. Okay, next, sensitivity. Okay, in sensitivity, it is like the same with mindfulness, because in sensitivity, being aware what are in your surroundings. Okay, sensitivity, ito yung pagiging parang observant mo. Okay, example, parang nalulungkot si student A, hindi ko na lang muna siya sasabihan ng mga dapat niyang gawin kasi baka may pinagdadaanan siya, siguro bukas na lang. Okay, you are being sensitive. Okay, you are having empathy to the person na naaawa ka, na pagbigyan muna siya na maramdaman niya kung anong pinagdadaanan niya. Adaptability, by its the word itself, alam niyo na naman yan. Next, ability to engage in divergent thinking and systems learning thinking. Okay, in Divergent movie, Tris was hated by the leaders because she was a divergent. Based on Merriam-Webster, divergent means in any direction you will be able to follow, or in any direction that person or a specific thing can follow. Okay, so dapat ganun tayo wherever we go, wherever we are, specific country, wherever we travel, whenever we travel, we need to be divergent thinking, that wherever we go we will be able to follow and to obey rules, their tradition, and their norms. Okay? So last is politeness. Okay, all of these traits, okay, kailangan yung mapossess yan. You must have this. But without politeness, hindi nyo to magagawa lahat. Okay? Because politeness, it is very important because being polite will give your receiver the reason why do they need to listen to you. Okay? Hindi pwedeng, ma'am, ano po bang gagawin dito sa activity na to? Sa tingin nyo, polite yon? No. Ma'am, can I ask question about our activity? When is the deadline of our activity? And I need some clarifications about it. Okay, so be polite. Okay, at all times. Hindi lang sa intercultural communication. And remember, in addition to culture, other elements or factors such as gender, age, social status, and religion must also be taken into consideration when communicating with others. Okay, you need to remember. Kanina ko pa sinasabi na intercultural communication, it is not only about the culture. There are some elements or factors like social status, gender, age, religion, tradition, norms, and many more. Okay? So that's all for our intercultural communication characteristic. Okay, now naman, I will give you some ways on how to refrain from showing bias when talking to someone. Okay, again, I will give you some ways or tips on how to avoid showing bias when talking to someone, specifically with other nationalities. Okay, first, avoid stereotypes, generalization about a certain group. Okay, avoid stereotyping. Why? Example, one section, STEM section, at isang student doon sa specific section na yon, is not be able to socialize or not good in socialization. Okay? So, ang ginawa ko, ay yung buong section ng STEM na to, hindi sila marunong makipag-socialize. Ang ginawa ko, generalize ko, kahit isang tao lang naman yon, kahit isang student lang naman yon. Okay? So, avoid stereotyping. Next, we have challenge gender norms. Avoid using he and man to refer to a general group of people. To remedy this, you may use plural pronouns or rewrite a sentence to avoid using pronouns. The use of his or her is also acceptable. Okay. In challenge gender norms, you need to use plural pronouns. Okay, you, them, they, their, okay, to avoid misconception or misinterpretation about the gender. Okay, so pwede ninyong sabihin, you are beautiful. Wala namang sinabi kung babae ba o lalaki. You are very intelligent. Okay, walang sinabi kung babae o lalaki. So it is more appropriate for us, especially when we are talking to people with other nationalities. Next, do not talk down on younger people. Okay, we intended to talk down or belittle the people younger than us. Okay, lagi natin sinasabi, we have that mindset na bata ka, wala kang karapatan magsalita. Okay, no. Don't do that. Okay, and also, wag din natin pagsalitaan ng masasama yung elders sa atin. Why? Because sometimes we have the mindset that kapag may nangaaway sa atin or may nambabash sa atin, mali ang message sa atin, minsan na matanda, na nakakatanda sa atin, we have the mindset na, ano ba to? Hindi naman to mature tong matandang to. Okay, so don't belittle or don't talk down to them. Okay, so next, be sensitive to the religious practices of others. Okay, be sensitive. You need to observe, okay, whatever that specific person wants to do, specifically weird things na nakikita mo na you are not usually witnessing that kind of movement or that kind of norms or that kind of attitude. Wag na lang tayo magsalita. Sometimes, kaya ganun yung ginagawa nila because it is from their religion, rather. Okay? So, kung nakikita mo sila naglo-long skirt, kahit anong occasion yan, wag nyo nang tanungin. That's okay. You need to be sensitive. Okay? Kapag nakita mo na hindi ko siya kumakain ng pork adobo, it is okay. Don't push him to. Okay? So, that's for be sensitive to the religious practice of others. Okay, next, be polite at all times. Do not belittle people you perceive to be on a lower social class than you. Okay, in social class or social status, ito yung parang kahoy lang nakatira or namamalimos, medyo average, medyo mayaman, and mayaman at pinakamayaman. Ito yung mga social class na meron tayo sa bansa natin, tama? So, be polite at all times. Minsan, may nakikita ako sa daan when a beggar asked for their help, especially sa mga about sa pera, 'di ba, namamalimos sila. May mga people or may mga tao na parang hinahagis lang yung pera. Okay? Kahit ganun sila, kahit namamalimos lang sila, respect them. Be polite. Okay? Wala yan sa yaman, wala rin yan sa mayaman. Nasa ugali ng tao yan. Okay? So, that's for some tips, some ways on how to reframe showing bias in having communication with other people. And now, let's proceed to the verbal and non-verbal communication. Okay, let's define what is verbal communication. Verbal communication refers to an interaction in which words are used to relay a message. In verbal communication, it is about the word of mouth, oral, utterance. Okay? Lumalabas sa bibig mo yung mga words. Okay? You are discussing, you are speaking. That is verbal communication. Okay, next. Also, into words. Okay? Into words. Yung halimbawa, from action into words, it is a verbal communication kapag ginawa mo ng into words, yung action. Okay, for effective and successful verbal communication, use words to express ideas which can be easily understood by the person you are talking to. In effective verbal communication, it is not about you whatever words you want to use, you can do so. Yes, you can do so naman. But for your receivers, for your audience, you need to use simple words, okay, to express your ideas, not to impress the audience or receivers that you have. Okay? Kailangan malinaw. Kailangan hindi ganun kakomplikado. Okay? To have effective verbal communication. And now, I will give you some things to consider when engaging in verbal type of communication. Okay? First is appropriateness. Second is brevity. Third is clarity. Fourth is ethics. And last, vividness. Okay, first, appropriateness. It is the language that you should use appropriately to the environment or occasion. Appropriateness, we need to use language in appropriate occasion. Halimbawa, nasa simbahan ka, halimbawa, Holy Week. So, use appropriate words, appropriate languages, or appropriate sentences kapag nakikipag-usap tayo. Kapag kasal, ganun din. Kapag New Year, kung anumang occasion ang meron tayo, use appropriate words, appropriate language. Next, brevity. Brevity, according to Merriam-Webster, it is about using precise words. Okay? So, precise words, it means that speakers who often use simple yet precise and powerful words are found to be more credible. Okay? So, the more you use simple words, the more you use precise words, the more you earn your credibility as a speaker, as a writer. Okay? Avoid fillers and insubstantial expression which do not add to the message, such as you know, I guess, and others. Okay, we are not perfect. As well, Miss JV is not perfect. So, I am committing, or I am that kind of person who always avoiding fillers. Okay, diba? Lagi nyo naman ako narinig na, ganon. Okay, so, for you to be able to practice avoiding fillers, practice to speak, okay, in front of the mirror or in front of other people. Okay, that will help you a lot. Okay, next. Next is clarity. The meaning of words, feelings, or ideas may be interpreted differently by a listener. Hence, it is essential for you to clearly state your message and express your ideas and feelings. In clarity, you need to be clear. Okay, whatever message you want to send to your receiver, to your audience, you need to be clear. Hindi dapat sila malalabuan sa sinabi mo. Okay, example, gaya ng example ko last week, may isang lalaki nagbibigay ng chocolate sa isang babae simula Monday hanggang Friday. Nag-assume yung babae na, ay, baka liligawan ako nito. Pero, yun pala, for the boy, ginagawa niya yun to appreciate the girl. Okay, hindi niya intentionally gawan. So, hindi klaro yung message na bakit siya lagi nagbibigay ng chocolate. So, if you want to send a message to a specific person, you need to be clear. Okay? Ethics. In ethics, words should be carefully chosen in consideration of the gender, roles, ethnicity, preferences, and status of the person or people you are talking to. Okay, in ethics, you need to use ethical words, okay, or ethics about a specific profession para malaman mo kung paano i-consider yung gender, yung ethnicity, and preferences ng isang tao. Yung ethics kasi ginagamit natin to as professionals. Okay? So, we need to use it. Okay? Ethics, it is like appropriateness or use appropriate language. Okay, last is vividness. Vividness, these are the words that vividly or creatively describe things or feelings using add color and spice to communication. Hence, you are encouraged to find ways to charm your audience through the use of vivid words. Okay, vividness, it will add color to your conversation. These are the words that can add charm, sparkle, okay, into the conversation that you have. Okay, it could be a figures of speech, descriptive words. Okay, it is up to you. Okay. So that's for the things that you need to consider while engaging in verbal type of communication. Okay, now let's proceed to the non-verbal communication. Okay, it refers to an interaction where behavior is used to convey and represent meaning. Okay, behavior daw, but it is not only that. Okay, in nonverbal communication, it is about the communication interaction using hand action, hand gestures rather, facial expression, your body movements, or your body language. Okay? So, dito, yung mga hindi natin napuput into words, it will classified as non-verbal communication. Again, all the responses, all of our messages and reactions that interpreted into words are classified, or we can't express into words, are classified as non-verbal communication. Okay, some examples. Stares. Okay, yung tingin mo pa lang, nangungusap na. Pangalawa, smiles. Pangatlo, sitting. Okay, sitting. Why, Miss JB? Kapag kinakausap ka ng mama mo, tapos nakataas ang paa mo, it means, ay, yung anak ko parang tinatamad kausapin ako. Next, tone of voice. Alam niyo naman yan. Next, movements, appearance, the way you dress. Okay, manners of walking, ayan yung mga varsity player, di ba? Paglakad pa lang nila, nangungusap na. Nalalaman na agad natin na ay varsity player to. Okay, next, standing. Ayan, standing, yung ating posture and style of attire, the same with the appearance. Okay, the way you dress. Okay, another example, attitude towards time and space. Okay, personality and gestures. Okay, attitude towards time, you will be able to communicate or sending the message in non-verbal way kapag lagi kang maaga pumasok. Kapag hindi mo pinag-iintay yung taong nag-iintay sa'yo. Okay? So, that's all. And I will give you some points to master your nonverbal communication. Okay? Next, for you to be mastered pala. Okay? Reasons. It can sustain the attention of listener and keep them engaged in the speech. Okay? That is, these tips are not that important, okay? I just want to share it with you for your additional information. But hindi nyo na kailangan to isulat or jot down. Okay, it gives the audience of a preview to the types of speaker you are. It enhances and emphasizes the message of your speech, thus making it more meaningful, truthful, and relevant. It can communicate feelings, attitudes, and perceptions without you saying a word. It makes you appear more dynamic and animated in delivery. It serves as a channel to release tension and nervousness, okay? If you will be able to deliver your speech for our final performance task, you can use gestures, you can use hand gestures for you to release the tension, to release the pressure inside your body. Okay, so isa yun sa mga tulong ng nonverbal communication. It helps make your speech more dramatic, it can build a connection with listener, it makes you a credible speaker, and it helps you vary your speaking style and avoid a monotonous delivery. Okay? So that's all for our discussion for today. And again, our discussion is about intercultural communication. It is about the interaction, negotiation between the people involved cultural backgrounds. Okay? So we have 6 stages of developmental of DMIS, and these are the denial, defense, acceptance, minimization, adaptation, and integration. And we have our nonverbal communication and verbal communication. If you have any question about this topic, you can send me a message and ask me your question or your clarification. That's all, my students. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something about our discussion for today that you will be able to adapt to your performance tasks and all of the activities that I will be giving to you. Okay, again, that's all. I hope you are all safe and sound, protected, and healthy. God bless. Thank you, and bye.